Hi, my name is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your #1 source for real estate advice online. And welcome to beautiful Savannah, where I live. It's just gorgeous here. It's a beautiful December day and it's 71 degrees outside, so I'm taking a bike ride. Got my helmet for safety. And I wanted to make this brief video about where you can get started. Make sure you subscribe to my website. It's at the bottom of this video. You'll get a newsletter where I will share some tidbits and send you links to other videos as well that I think might be useful. And that's also how I can stay in touch with you. Of course, always leave a message or send me an email if you like. The easiest way for me to read your messages are actually if you leave them at the bottom of this video, because I don't always quite get to emails as fast. So just attach them at the bottom of this video. But if you want a private message, of course, my email address is realestate@juliamspencer.com, and I'll be glad to answer. But let's get to the topic. I guess I should have made this video maybe like 5 years ago or something. It basically just answers the question of where you get started. And it has a little bit to do also with the fact that a lot of you guys are actually contacting me, asking me, how do you invest in overages, and what about overages, and do you have a course on overages? I don't have a course on overages. What I'm going to do though for you is I have planned to go and check the other products that are out there for overage investors and kind of just give my 2 cents worth of which ones are worth it and which ones aren't, and whether or not they're worth the cost. I'm going to see if I can negotiate some sort of review of those other products. I don't have one personally. If you really want me to make an audiobook on overages, I can do that. I'll just have to do my own research for a little bit with the information that I already have. But where else can you get started? Where do I think personally you should get started? If you want to get into tax sale foreclosures or making money with real estate, where should you get started? So I want to say I've already did a video on this before, but I can't remember, so I'm doing this one again. I kind of look at tax sales as a 3-step process. The first step being the less riskiest, and the last step being, of course, the riskiest. And I believe that if you wanted to start off with, first step should be look for a place where you can buy a tax lien certificate. And intermediate would then be to try to find a tax lien, and the third most risky step would be to get a deed. And let me just explain to you really briefly what all those 3 things are. I think it's better left for another video to explain all 3 of those things. But the reason I think that a tax lien certificate is the easiest is because you're not really actually buying the property, but you're buying a lien, and you're not buying the lien from that point onward forever in the past and forever in the future. You're actually only buying it for 1 year. A really good state to start off with is actually Florida. Florida has tax lien certificate sales once a year. I'm sure there's other states. I live close to Florida, so that's where I usually look. Their sale is in May, so I usually buy a bunch of them, and most all of them redeem. Sometimes you get left with one, and that's okay. But that's the least riskiest way, because you're really only buying 1 year. There's other tax lien certificate holders, so you're not like the only one that has a lien on that property, and it's very likely that somebody's probably going to redeem it, so you're actually just going to make the interest. There's also a small chance you might get the property, so you're kind of covered in all areas, and it's also very cheap. You can buy a tax lien certificate for $100. I've bought some for $100 on lots that are worth $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, and that's a bit safest, easiest way to start. I really would recommend that you spend, if you only have a couple of bucks, spend the money on buying a tax lien certificate, and don't spend the money on getting overage investing courses for $50,000 or more, where you're probably even required to subscribe to the service from that point onward. And that money is much better spent with you actually dabbling into the investing side yourself. The intermediary step would be a tax lien. That's not a certificate, that's a lien. For example, here in the state of Georgia, they do sell sheriff's deeds. They call them sheriff's deeds, but they're really just liens. There is a redemption period, and once you buy that tax lien certificate, you're going to get the tax bills from that point onward forever in the future unless something else happens. And you're also going to, of course, be billed for the past taxes in that sale. So there's not going to be any other lien holders. So it's basically you and the previous owner and the property that you have to deal with. And more times than not, you end up with the property. It's a little bit riskier because you have to do more due diligence work and make sure that you actually are researching the property properly, I like that, and find out all the information before you buy that, because you might get stuck with dumpy property that you'll have to get rid of or pay to get rid of. And mind you, if you have to tear down the building and that's going to cost you money, I don't buy those properties. I know I've actually subscribed really recently to like a Facebook feed there, and in that Facebook feed, it was like a tax sale investing group, I guess, and this guy is explaining what he had to do to tear down a property on this property that he bought at a tax sale, and had to shut off the gas and the water and notify authorities and get permits. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did you buy it? Don't buy it, but some people are going with their head through the wall. Once they got a property, they're gonna go proceed, and not realizing that there's much easier ways to make money. Anyways, getting sidetracked, let's get to the third one. The riskiest is when you go to a deed sale. Now, when you go to a deed sale, most likely you're going to be buying a property that has already sat on the government's books for a while, which was the redemption period has already passed. So you basically get the deed and you can do with the property whatever you want from the point of the sale. This is very important because if you make a wrong choice in those cases, nobody's going to come to redeem it. It's yours. If it's a good choice or a bad choice, you're stuck with it no matter what. And so you're going to have to anticipate what's going to happen. And of course, do even more due diligence. I say, do as much due diligence as you can with the time frame that you're given. So, and also a lot of times, deed sales, I actually not ones that you can get for very cheap. They're usually the most expensive. And also, of course, if you look at all those three, the tax lien certificate, the tax lien, and the tax deed, this is from cheapest to most expensive. And not all three are going to be available in your state. Different states have different rules of what they sell. So kind of start thinking about these things in your free time. Take a nice walk, like in a beautiful park like this, and ponder what your point of attack will be. Talking about point of attack, I found this guy right here. He's been attacked. He lost a leg. Anyways, don't be that guy. And I hope to see you investing very successfully very soon. Remember, don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day, everybody.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.